I feel I feel moved that I've been with this congregation and that I've lived this long into the 90s. I feel very grateful. And knowing the same people and knowing the wonderful staff, it's very healthy, it's very helpful, and I think it gives us the impetus to help others in the same way the church is helping us ourselves.
The thing was, I think that the membership, what you're doing has grown tremendously. The welcoming of people, we didn't have the umbrella, we would meet out in the patio, and it was very hard to reach people. And I just think the whole thing over these 20 years has really developed. So I think people feel that there's we would say, oh, all right, we're nice in the beginning, but then we drop them. I think that whole thing has developed tremendously. And so the church, I think, has been much more welcoming to new people and then retaining people that have been there for a year and then feel lost. That's my feeling.
I'm going to chime in and say that I think for those of us who were involved with the church back in the 1960s, 1970s, when we met at the Red Cross building and then on Boulevard Way and so on, like Carol is admitting, it's a very different situation to come into a really beautiful sanctuary and a big campus. And having left because of Bob being transferred and our moving for a number of years and then coming back, we were lucky enough to get in on every single building fund. And so some of you others have done the same. We used to have our Sunday school in people's homes. I remember having a class of kindergartners with Heidi, who was Rowena's daughter, at Dr. Danzig's home. And I wonder how many people who come to our campus now have any idea what it's taken to get to this point.
I'd like to talk about some of the things that we did in the past. Where we had, when there were some people that wanted sanctuary from Guatemala, and we had a trailer up for them so that they could stay on our campus, although they weren't supposed to be here at all. And now we're still doing some things like that, which I think are great. And it's just that church just seems to go along with what we believe in.
Do you remember when we hired Gil?
Yes.
Dressed up in our suits and ties, the men did, and we all dressed up in hat and gloves. Do you all remember? Anybody else remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
I don't either.
It really struck me as being in a formal church, and I never expected that to be our church. It was a day. It was a day.
I remember Pine Street.
What's that, Deb?
I remember Pine Street.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Pine Street. Yeah.
And the kids back in the kitchen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those were the days.
Well, the building doesn't make a church, it's the people, but it is nice to have a sanctuary.
Yeah.
A safe spot to go, because I think the people impressed David and I. more than anything.
Borton Hall has been a wonderful gathering center. And then you disperse to other areas, but it's just been.
I remember the membership committee meetings where Les had gone to other meetings and said, that it would need to be, we needed to connect with people and our main problem was keeping new people coming, as you said.
Yes.
And trying to do that. That was a big push, is trying to be more inclusive and not have our little exclusive little cliques and all that stuff, that be more welcoming all the time.
Well, I just want to say, other than Deb, I think I've probably been a member the longest, and we joined in 61, I think. And we met in a small place, the Women's Club on Lincoln Avenue by the library. But the offices were in the Highland building, which was kind of interesting because they weren't, they were about a mile apart, but it worked. And one of the things I did was worked on the newsletter with a mimeograph machine. Does anybody remember
Oh,
what
yeah.
a mimeograph machine was?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we
yeah.
had to get the newsletter out. Margaret McLean showed me how to use the, and so I would come every week and help get the newsletter and whatever else needed to be done. And it was a small space. We had small space, and the people were very friendly. And that's why we enjoyed coming.
Continue doing the loving things that you have been doing over the past years. Keep it up. Improve it even. Find more. And thank you.
But it's been a good experience for us, for our whole family. And so I'm glad that it's 70 years.